Hi everyone, Ashley here for Scrap It Up and Do Crafts. This is part 2 of Jubilee album using the My Mind's Eye Mint Jubilee, and we're going to go ahead and start making our album. So what you're going to need are 4 8.5 by 11 craft or whatever color you choose cardstock papers. There's a lot of colors in this collection, so you could choose blue, you could choose a nice red or a green, you could do black, whatever you would like to do is completely up to you. I'm going to use craft. I like the vintage look. Just to clarify a few things, we are using the Distress Ink vintage photo because I don't like white edges on paper that's shouldn't. So everything got vintage photoed. Hold on, you guys. I'm going to get rid of some of the glare. There we go. Okay, so what you're going to need is your scoreboard. And I'm modeling this after a folder I made for my Midori Traveler's Notebook. I just recently became addicted to journaling, and which, by the way, I think we're going to venture into making one of these. So for those that would like a nice place to journal, that will probably be a project as well. So let me try and get this out without totally... Here we go. Okay, so you have like 3 or 4 notebooks in a journal, and so this was the notebook that I created. Well, the notebook itself, I just papered it. Okay, but I wanted a folder to go around it, and so this is what I made for the folder, hence the pockets and the way it's scored in the middle. This is where this album was born from. Okay, so I wanted to share that with you guys because frankly, to be honest, I was quite stumped. I've been on this creative block, and then I did the papering and just sat down for a day and did that journal, and it was like poof, it all kind of just came forth to me. So just 1 second. I'm going to pull up my controls. To see if I can't turn off the autofocus. There we go. Hi, Anna. I am on this channel now on Sundays, no longer on mine, except for on Tuesdays. I will be on my channels on the last Tuesday of every month. We're still doing the Christmas card thing, so that's on my channel. That's the only thing I will have going on my channel for right now. Okay, so what we're going to do is put our 11 at the top, score at 5.5, score at 5 3/4, score at 5 5/8, score at 5 3/8, and 5 1/4. I don't know that you actually need all the scores in between. I'm just going off of what I did to create the folder. We're actually only folding on 2 of those score lines, but it seemed to help for some reason, and I'm not too sure why. But it did seem to help. All right. Studio light be on. If you guys hear a crash, it's my studio light falling over on me. Okay, so you're going to do that to all 4 of them, so let's go ahead and do that. 5.5, 5 5/8, 5 3/4, 5 3/8, 5 1/4. Like I said, I don't know that you actually need all of them. This is just the way I ended up doing it. I didn't make this until yesterday, people. So And some of you guys are gonna be like, oh my gosh, that doesn't make sense to stack them that way. Well, it ended up working, so. But it's all in your folding and how well you burnish your crease, or at least the two creases that you will be burnishing that matter. Okay. Oh, did I do that one right? Yeah, I did. Okay. It just looks off. All right. All right. So this, now we're going to, that's what it looks like in the middle. Okay. So on both the furthest right and the furthest left fold, which would be your 5 1/4 and 5 3/4 fold or score, those are the folds that those are the scores that we're going to fold. And you're going to burnish these super well. I'm not joking. Very, very well. Get a really nice crisp burnish to it. Okay. And then this one. Okay. So in essence, this is what you have. Okay. You're going to do the same thing to the next 3 papers. Oops. No, I don't know where my flat spatula one went. I think it's in my leather kit, to be completely honest. And it's very, very important to make sure that your edges right here are lining up. Make sure it's nice and creased straight. Okay. Again, there's number 2. So essentially the middle ones, the 3 in the middle, don't actually matter. I had initially done it that way and it ended up working. So in my head, I'm telling myself that they have to be there. So who knows if they actually do, but I'm not going to risk it. Especially since it was only a few seconds out of my day, as opposed to starting over. Really burnish those folds. That's very, very key. There's the 3rd one, and one more. Yes, better safe than sorry, that's for sure. Okay, so now we have our pages built. Let me make sure that we only did 4 because for some reason I was thinking 5. So, and this is what they look like. They're all stacked and ready to go. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and what you have here is a spine that is about a 1/2 inch on each one. So we're going to go ahead and grab our 3/8 score tape. This is a very light project. There's not a lot of heaviness to it, so a nice score tape that gets burnished well is going to work fabulous for you. So we're going to use our 3/8. I'm going to grab my perfect trim tool, which, by the way, so the Scrap-A-Dab-A-Doo design team, the ladies are going to be, there will be staples. This is one of them that goes with the design team. Also, FYI, these are another, all 4 of these. So we have tools that are going to be staples. That list will be coming out soon. It'll be things that all of us will be using throughout the course of being on the design team. So Little FYI, this is one of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to take tape and go from top to bottom on the inside. Okay, right down the middle. See, that's the inside. Okay. We're going to burnish it. Get a really nice crisp lay down in there. Peel the tape off. Then we're going to take the next one. We're going to stack the spine right on top of that one. And some of you guys are like, oh my gosh, that's never going to work. Well, it works. I don't know why, but it does. So I'm literally going to move you guys hopefully a little closer without it getting super blurry. The purple one is the cloud and scallop. Ouch. Jeez. Okay. Okay, so you guys can see my tapes right there. Okay. And you're going to take it. So there's our spine. Got a nice, I have one of them folded over. See? So here's the setup. You can see that. I just have one of them flatter so I can get the edge. I'm just focusing on this edge, going right on top of this edge. Make sure your top and bottom are lined up and your edges. Okay. Go ahead and press that right down the middle. Now what you're going to do is take that front page and crease it over all the pages. Get that nice, good, crisp fold. Okay, same with the back. You're going to end up folding this page in, fold this one right over it, and crease. Okay, it's all about how you're creasing here. And if you look, your spine, where you can tell that there's two pages, oh geez, focus camera. Okay, you can tell that there's two pages here. Your spine actually only looks like one. It's not going to focus. You guys aren't going to be able to see it. So what you're going to do is take your tape, do the same thing over again. Okay, get that score tape really on there. This is going to be the fastest mini album you guys are ever going to do. I guarantee it. Okay, so I've bone folded that on there, creased it or burnished it. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. I'm going to take our next one again, pulling one of the sides. There's the edge of the spine, lining it up. And burnishing it down. Okay, again, burnish. Now you're going to bring those next pages over. It might seem tough at first, but it will go over. Pull it nice and tight and crease it. Same with the next one. Fold it over. Pull it nice and tight and crease it. Okay, again, doing the same thing to the other side. That's where you get these pages laying so flat. This one just folds really easy. You'll find one side will fold really easy over the other side's a little bit tough, but it's not bad. Okay, one more page to go, and then our book will be built. But I know, 15 minutes, who said that? So we're going to go right down the middle again with our score tape. And pull that off. Again, grab your last page. Lining right on top of that score line. Top and bottom, make sure those are lined up. It's important. There we go. Increase. Again, pulling over and pulling it tight, increasing. Pull it tight, crease it. It ends up flipping like a book. You know, when you open it, the book pages are semi-layered, the edges. Okay, let's do the other side. Now, fold your spine back out so it's nice and flat, just like so, and ta-da! Your book is built. Super easy, super simple. They've got kind of a layering effect here on the sides, which when you bulk it up, it doesn't matter. It'll sit quite nicely, just like this one does. Sits perfectly. Okay, you can see here the edges. Okay. So our book is built. Let's go ahead and focus on our pockets, and then we're going to start papering it. We're going to need to make 6 pockets. Wait, let me just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yep, 6 pockets. And to do that, we're going to need a couple more sheets of our craft or whatever you want to make your pockets out of. And you guys are thinking, oh, this is cardstock, it's going to be really flimsy. No, once you get the cardstock on these, see how solid that sounds? These are really, really sturdy pages. There is nothing weak or flimsy about this. This is really, really sturdy. Okay. Let's see, we got 1. I'm just going to grab 3. You will have some scraps, which you can then turn into tags. Just saying, use all your scraps. You can turn your tags, turn these into tags for your album. Okay. So to do our pockets, we're going to cut 6 4.5 by 4.5 squares. And if you use a 12 by 12 sheet, you're going to get 4 out of that sheet instead of using 3 sheets of 8.5 by 11, but I don't have 12 by 12, so it's okay. I use my scraps or I donate them. So I'm going to bring you guys up a little bit as you guys can see. Okay, so 4.5 by 4.5, you need 6 of those. And like I said, keep the scraps. You can make a pretty good sized tag out of this. For this particular album, you could, or just make a couple mats. This would be cute to tuck into one of the pockets. Mat it with some of your scrap paper, tuck it into a pocket. Don't throw it away. I was going to prep for this, but I was like, this is so easy, I don't need to prep. I would never fill a 2-hour show if I prepped. And next week for decorating is going to be extremely easy. Like I said, though, if you are going to do the diamond with the glossy accents, die cut your diamond in whatever color paper you want to use it in. I did mine in the pink that's in the paper collection. Glossy accent, and have it dried before class. I will have mine dried before class. Okay, so here's our scraps again, tags. You're going to need your scoreboard. So I'm going to set these aside because I will use them. Scoreboard next. And these are all left-handed tags. So we're going to 1/2 inch here. Okay. Right down the left side. Rotate it once. So now your score is at the top. Again, 1/2 inch down the side. So you have something that looks like an L shape. So here's a score and here's a score. Okay. You're going to do that to all 6. So let me just knock these out real quick. And it's a 4.5 by 4.5 square, so I suppose it doesn't matter as long as you get an L shape on, as long as you score on at least 2 of the sides. See, I flipped that one down, still doesn't matter. Okay, so we have all 6 of them scored and ready to go. So now our next thing is to cut. There's that square, scored square right here. Remember, we're making a pocket. So we're going to cut that out. And for those of you guys that don't want to take the time to do that, because it's important that we miter these corners, you can just go straight across like that, because that corner has to be mitered anyways. And for those that don't get straight miters, that really, really, really want to use a tool, give yourself a straight line with a ruler or a perfect trim tool and do that. Okay, the essential important part is to get that corner cut out. So a couple different ways there. Now I just have to find the ones that I did. All right, so let me go ahead and, so these corners where the score lines are, miter that whole corner and this corner. Okay, do that to all of them. Hi, Metwife, welcome. Two more. That was a pretty strong miter there. Getting all crazy. And if we decide to do the journal notebooks, this will be good practice because we'll make folders, and this is how I did the folders. So we have all of our corners. Let me get my scraps out of the area. Working with a clean surface, feeling the zen. Okay, next is an important part. We need to get an angle on the let me see here. All right, I'm gonna lift you up so you guys can kind of see here, hopefully. All right, hopefully it kind of focuses. Okay, so because our pages these pockets are on our left side, like this. We need our cut to come across like this, okay? So essentially these folds are going to go like this underneath. We're going to tape them down. You'll have your cut, and shazam, you have a pocket, okay? But what we need to do first is get that angle. So here's how you're looking at it, okay? So this bottom right point here, I want you to open up your trimmer, find the 2-inch mark from the actual cut side. So count 2 inches in. So I'm going to put that corner right there, okay? And then I'm going to rotate this corner, so opposite corner. So here's the corner that's on the 2-inch mark. You can see it right there. Just find a spot on your trimmer that's 2 inches in. Okay, so there it is. The corner's on that. Hold this down, rotate it so your opposite corner is in the cutting track. Okay, let me show you. Let me get this to where you guys can see. So it's in the cutting track. Hopefully this focuses. It won't because it's on a white background, or because I'm holding it close. It's going to get blurry. Hold on, guys. Okay, so that's that top corner. In the cutting track, bottom corner is at a 2-inch mark. Okay, still blurry. I'm going to bring you guys back out. Okay. So once you have those corners meeting those two places, you're going to close your cut blade and slice. Okay, and now we have the proper angle for our pocket. It's the easiest way to do this. Super, super easy, super simple. We're going to paper this. I'm going to show you how to line it up. So let's go ahead and I'm going to do all the remaining 5. Again, here's our folds. They're on my left side here. Okay, our top essentially of the pocket. So I'm going to take this bottom fold here, the far right corner, put it on a 2 mark, 2 inches in, so there's 1, 2. Put the top corner opposite of this bottom one into the cut lane, which I can't see it. And cut. Okay, this one was a little bit wonky. That's all right. Okay, again, here's our folds, left side and bottom. So this bottom right corner on the 2 mark, I'll say it again, and then the opposite corner, so top left corner here, into the cutting lane. We're going to get our angle and cut. Okay, pocket. So let me get these other ones cut real fast. This one needs to come down just a little bit more. A little overzealous. Perfect. Okay. Top one in the cut and put that on 2. Cut lane. It's on 2. And cut lane. Okay. So now we have all of our pockets, and I'm going to show you how to assemble the pockets. here shortly we're going to be inking. So those are all cut. We will be cutting a little bit more here, but it's going to probably be here in a few. And I'll show you guys how to paper these. So you can just take your, I just take my, well, you need to burnish your folds. One. That's what gets that pocket to lay extremely flat. Okay, so burnish those folds. So you've got a nice meeting there in the corner. Okay, and I just take my tape down. Where's my, just put some tape down, just like so. Cut this off. Okay. Oh, there we go. So there's our pocket with the tape. It's going to go in the bottom corner of our pages once we paper them. Super easy. Okay. So let me go ahead and get these all squared away. Oh, we're doing great on time. Fabulous. I'm going to use my ATG gun for taping down the papers on the pages because they are not heavy pages. So let me get all of this stuff out of the way. So you guys go ahead and talk amongst yourself. If there's any questions about anything that I've done so far, go ahead and put it in the chat and I'll look up periodically here while I'm trying to tape away. Oops. I'm going to take a sippy. My mouth is all dry. Okay. There's a couple more pockets. And I'm just using score tape on this because if you put a couple mats behind the pocket, it's just going to be a lot stronger if you use score tape. So it's helpful. You could also use liquid glue, but of course you can't do that until you go to put them on the page, which we're not there yet. So that's up to you. So if you're using liquid glue, you need to wait. Okay? Just hold your horses. Oh, stinking tape. That's okay. I know I'm probably off camera. I'm just papering, or I'm just putting tape on it. Okay, so now we have got all of the tape on our pockets. We have our album built, so let's go ahead and put some paper on it. How about that? Yes, we're already putting paper on our album. Let me just burnish these. Those ones I already did. So we've got all of our pockets, the exception of one semi-wonky one, but we won't go there. See? All of them ended up the same, with the exception of this wonky one, which I'll fix. Okay, so we'll set our pockets aside. Let's go ahead and grab our paper and our album. Actually, first off, let's go ahead and stain our album. If you're going to stain your album, go ahead and do that now. I used a vintage photo, and I didn't per se ink the entire album. I just inked the edges, just really quick along the edge. It just gave it a little color, which you guys can't see because my camera doesn't want to focus. I mean, you could even just go like this right across the top. I'm going to go right down the spine, just along the edge. Just give it, it's just a little washing of some and that's pretty much the outside. I do like to do the inside because it does, oops. So you guys will have to, geez, give me a second here. I'm going to be off screen. I'm literally just inking the edges very lightly on the inside. So you guys could choose whatever stain you would like to use. It's completely up to you. Let's do this side. That one's done. And you're going to need to do the same to the pockets. I inked my pockets. You don't have to, but if you're doing it exactly like I have done, I inked my pockets. So I'll probably ink those next, just so we can have some of the inking out of the way. I do ink the actual sheets that go down on the paper, just lightly. It really kind of gives it some depth to the page. Oh, I see a link for Design Team Staples. Carol is on it. And as we find new products, it's not saying that only old products can go in there. As we find products that have just become part of our everyday usage, like the envelope punch board, that will be in there as well if it's not already. There's things like that that we have decided that. So it's all inked. Let's go ahead and I'm going to grab these since we have them here. Just going to give those right at the edge. I'm not going over. It's not that vintage. It's just a hint. But it gives it some dimension between the layers of paper and chipboard or crafts cardstock, which I love. Oh, I'm sorry, Linda. Darn Ustream. Come on, Ustream bot. Be nice to Linda. I'll give you a cookie. We'll find out if it likes cookies. This is that one I need to fix. Got a little overzealous with my cutting. There we go. All right. All of our inking so far is done. We still have to do pages and stuff, but let's go ahead and cut up our papers. The measurements for these are very quite simple. And we're going to put that paper. These are my scraps. Remove that one. Oh, darn it. Where did I put the album? Oh, it's right here. It's right in front of me. Well, where did the album go? Okay, so our paper for each page is going to be 5 inches wide by 8 1/4 tall. So you need to find the papers that you would like to use. For front and back, I used the gold and white polka dot, as you can see here. So I did that on front and back. And then I took a piece of scrap and used the opposite of it. I wanted to tie in with the gold and white polka dot, but I also wanted to bring a little pop of color to the spine. And the reverse of that paper is exactly that. Okay? So it's your gold and white tied into the spine with the red flowers, but also I used them on the cover. So it ties in the entire album with just papering the front. Okay? I'm going to bring you guys up so you can see while I cut. Okay? So let me find this paper and cut the second one. And what I do is, so here's the top of our paper, here's the bottom, because we need 2. Essentially, there's 2 of each that gets cut here. Whether it's one of the front, one of the back, I'll show you guys why. So what I do is I take it and put it at the 8 1/4 height, which is your height. Let me just double check that. I'm having a panic moment here. Yes, 8 1/4 high. And cut all the way across, because you'll be able to get 2 off of this. And then you can use this for a scrap, which is what I did do. I die cutted with this bottom because it's 3 3/4 tall, which ironically enough, this 3 3/4 tall is just about what we're going to be using to make the covers for our pockets. So keep these scraps handy. Okay, so I'm going to cut my 5 width. And now I've got my front and back cover. We'll worry about the spine. I like having the 1/8 of an inch all the way around. I think it gives it a little something. You could always expand that if you want. These, this paper is cut for these measurements, so you could always do it however you like. You could do this in any different size. You could do this in 6 by 6 and use the 6 by 6 paper pad. You know, you'll have to cut a little bit because it's only 5 wide when you do it to paper, but you could do it a couple inches shorter and you would have just a smaller version and just use the 6 by 6 paper pad. So there is that option as well. Okay, so we've got our front and back cover. I will get to the spine piece later. I'm going to use it out of my scraps. It was one of the last things that I put on. Next, we're going to be using the heart one. I do have a heart page, and I also have an arrow page. So 8 1/4. Hi, Renee. I'm just going to set my, so we'll cut it at 5 and 5 again. Okay, and save your scraps. Like I said, we use them. I need to get a different blade for my cutter, you guys. So hold on one second. Okay, it's gonna slice like butter. So now we have one of the arrows and one of the heart pages, because as you notice, I did the only one where I actually did it back to back was the word one in the middle. Okay, so we're gonna grab a pink one, pink paper, if I can find one. Aha. And it's also a bike on the back. I know we've got a bike page. So 8 1/4. Scraps. 5 white. Much better. And our bike page. So let's grab a black stripe. That's our next one. And I do know that we've got a diamond page. So let's go ahead and do 8 1/4 high all the way down. Okay, so let's do the gold at one, and then we also have a stripe page for the back. Do you know that? Okay, so when it comes to our middle page, I cut it so we have got a running, and there's not a gap in between the wording. You can see here, enjoy the journey. It's continuing. I mean, you can still see what it says. So there's not a big old gap. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys right now how to do that. So let's go ahead and grab that paper. Oh, here we go. And luckily I didn't use the back of this in the thing, so you'll have 2 to work with if you mess up. Bonus. Okay, so what I did here was I found the section of words that I wanted to use, and this is the section right here. Okay, it's kind of right above the really big world and right below the live your life, enjoy the journey. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is tell you where I cut it. About the 2 1/2 with the border strip on the bottom. Okay, so 2 1/2 from the bottom. Okay, you can set that aside. This would be really cute if you want to cut this out where it says adventure and make it as a running tag up aside. You can tuck things into it if you wanted to put a few pockets in here. You don't have to do it exactly, but look at your papers and look at what you're working with. Let me find a semi-plain page. Oh, anyways, so you could cut this out where it says adventure and create a pocket right here that you could tuck things into. Okay, just a little FYI, look at what you're cutting up. So you save that. Okay, oh, I need this. Let's go ahead and flip it. And actually what we need to do now is just take that piece that we cut off, move it all the way to 8 1/4, and that's going to give us our height. Okay, so that's, now we have our 8 1/4 height. Again, this would be a great one. Explore. This says I've got all of the whole world in my hands. I mean, you could seriously use these in your little album. Okay. Okay, so now we're looking at it as if we were reading it. We're going to make our first cut, which is going to be 5 inches wide from, so here's the left, which is the left side of our page. Okay. So there's our first one. Now we're going to make a small cut, and it's going to be, I believe I did it 3/8 of an inch wide, but let me just double check. Yes, 3/8 of an inch wide. We already have our height, so we're good. And for that, I'm going to rotate it upside down so I can see. Three-eighths of an inch. Okay, so we have our little piece. This is what's going to allow us to get the continued wording. Okay, rotate it back over. Now you're going to take that piece and move it to the 5 and cut your final page. So when we go to put it in the middle of our album, which this is the middle of our album, look how flat that is. Oh, we're going to be able to put it like so. Like so. And like so. And now you have got your, I love this page. I love the words. They're kind of inspiring. I love how they're written. I wish I could do that. Oh, bye, Sheila. Sheila leaving. Okay. Any questions on that specifically? So we're going to set that aside. Let's finish cutting our papers, which I know we've got a diamond. I know we've got an arrow. We do not have a green polka dot, and we do not have this one. But luckily, it's on the same page. So, let me set all of this aside. Okay. Again, let's do our height first at 8 1/4. And our 5-inch width. And we're going to do it twice because we need one with the green polka dots, but we also need one with this. Okay. Let me see, I think that might be all of our pages. No, we have the blue and the doily, and that will be it. And you would still have roughly, so there's 4, 5, 6, 7, about 7 12 by 12 sheets, or 6 right now, but I mean, you would still have half the collection because you've only used one of each sheet. So, and 5 and 5. go ahead and put that away, and we can start inking our sheets, and then we'll put them in, and we're going to be rocking it. Okay. Oops. Guess I should open it. That might be effective, helpful. And again, I'm just dabbing right at the edge. I'm not actually inking. I'm just covering up the white, giving it that book vintage kind of look without going crazy. So there's a blue one. And make sure you have the side that you're using facing front when you're inking. Super boring. Super boring part, people. Oh, we're doing good on time. We're going to get this whole thing papered. And hopefully the pockets put on. And I'll show you guys how to do the pockets before we jet out. That way next week all we're doing is embellishing. Super easy, super simple project. I mean, you can do this in a couple of hours. In an hour and a half, we already have the paper cut and album built. And don't forget to ink your little strip too. Okay, I'm completely off screen. That's because I need to change the ink thingy on my dauber, and it's flicking little pieces everywhere. So I don't want to get them on my papers. You guys are just going to have to wait. Yes, I whispered that, and I bet you guys were like, huh? You leaned in closer to your computer. I know it. I'm excited to do the Prima banner. Good night, Ma. Thanks for being here, Miss Margaret. Margaret Ann. Okay, just a couple more left. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and use my ATG tape to adhere these because they're not super heavy pages. Excuse me. Sorry, you guys. And it'll be just faster. Why not? This is like record inking time. I'm going to put my covers on last. I just, for some reason, like to do that. So, okay. Those are all inked and ready to go. So let's go ahead and start putting these all together. Let me gather everything up. So covers on last. And our first page, we're going to start off with the hearts. I'm going to make this my front. I like how this one. There we go. Okay. So got our heart pages. I'm just going to go ahead and put that on there and line it up. And this is how I do it. Okay, you can do it however you want, but I stink at lining stuff up. So I line it up, hold it down at the top with the bottom underneath my finger, and I will apply some ATG tape right at where the edges would be, kind of just visually looking. And don't worry, if you get tape on the outside, I'll show you how to get it off. Press it down. So now it's in place. It's not going to wiggle. It's not going to shift. You have tape on the outside. When you feel it, just rub it. It'll come off. I didn't have tape, so that's my skill showing through there. Again, just following right at the edges where they would be. Putting copious amounts of tape, pressing it down. And of course, we are going to use our bone folder, give it a nice burnish. And ta-da. Our next page is the pink one. Doing the same thing, lining it up. And also look at your other page right here. Make sure that these line up. So you don't have one like down here and it's all jacked up. Like, it's gonna get blurry. You don't want it like this. You want these to be straight across from each other, like that. Okay? Hold on, it's blurry again. There we go. Down. And that was one of the reasons why I don't put my outsides on, because this is sliding all over the table. I don't want anything that potentially would be on my table to be on my outside papers. That's the whole reason. Just a tip. Bone folder. Okay, let's flip to the next page. And our next page is going to be the bicycles and the black stripe. So bicycles first, then the black stripe. And you can choose, well, no, I already glued that one down. Did I? It's on the back of this. Yeah, I already glued the pink one down. Yeah, they call me Quick Draw, Renee. Fastest scrapbooker in the West with an ATG gun. I'm feeling quite feisty today, if you guys cannot tell. To be completely honest with you guys, because I'm all about it, I was very nervous coming back on today. It's been so long. I had a little bit of an anxiety attack. But, you know, it fell right back into place. As soon as I said hello to everybody and did roll call. But I'm glad we're back on kind of a schedule. I'm also glad I know what I'm doing. That's always a good thing, huh? Okay. Let's burnish these ones. Our next page is going to be the and symbol and the stripes. Just want to make sure I'm still going the right direction here. Directionally, make sure if you have a directional paper like this, that this is actually up and down, like, you know, going the right direction. It's always good to double check that. And luckily I'm using ATG tape, and if I had to, I could peel it off slowly, very slowly, but slow nonetheless. I'm going to go ahead and line this one up. So I can do both of them now, without having to flip it upside down twice. Oh, I'm super glad to be back, to be completely honest. I'm nervous about it, but good. I'm good now. I'm good. Oh. There we go. Okay. We've got a jam, people. No worries. There we go. Let's go ahead and burnish. Okay, here's our middle piece, which is our black and white paper. Obviously, you'll be able to read it, so you'll know where what one goes where. If you can't read the words, you have them backwards. If you can't read them in, like, order, like this, not in order. This in order. I'll have to change up my ATG gun here in just a second. This is good. It went through that other album, this album, and another album, and my Midori. Wow. Effective. Okay. I do have a good looking group here today. You guys are fabulous. Thanks for sticking around. Okay. I'm gonna have to try that again. They're all my canceled shows and moving and all of that, you know. Thanks, guys. But hey, I had to find myself, and in the process I have, and I found another addiction, and I'm just really happy. I'm in a good place. So, with all that being said, let's not cry about it now, and aha, here's the end of our roll. Stick that in there. Hopefully I have more ATG tape. Otherwise we will be using square tape. Oh, I got one more roll. Awesome sauce. I know, it's a great fast album to come back with. Super fast, you guys. I mean, this is like, you forgot that person's birthday, knock one of these out. You will not be offended. Plus, it'll be easy for them. All right, where's that scrap piece of paper? Oh, I threw one of them away. I use that for tags. Yay. All right. All right, so for the middle one, I'm going to go ahead and run 3/8 of an inch score tape right down the middle. I don't know why. I don't think it truly matters whether you use ATG or score tape. I'm going to go ahead and use score tape because that's just who I am. But you have to really line it up because the paper is only 3/8 inch of a wide. Or it's only 3/8 inch width. And the tape is 3/8, so perfect. Make sure it's lined up. Give it a good crease. Okay, I'm just going to pull that much off and line it up first before I commit. Stick down. There we go. Okay, so there's that. It's holding it in place. So now I can commit. There we go. Ta-da! Okay, so there's that one. And let me burnish it. Okay. So after that page, we have got the diamonds and the arrows. Diamonds and arrows. Oh, thanks, Linda. Yeah, I'm glad to be back, and I'm super glad to be back on Scrap It Up with Dude's channel. Jeez. Love it. Okay. We should do a poll. Carol, do a poll and find out who wants to do the Midori type journals. Can you just do the poll question? Be like, do you want to do a Midori type journal with booklets and inserts and folders? You can also use it as a smash book. A lot of people do. I like the arrows going in this way because I feel like if there was a picture here, they're pointing at it. Well, that's why you only pull a little teeny piece of tape off and stick it down, get it positioned where you want it, and then pull the rest off. I have ruined too many sheets of paper by thinking that I was that good. That I could just eyeball it and stick it down. And for Pete's sake with the tape. That was weird. Now I gotta line up again. I don't even own undo. I don't undo things. Throw them away. I know that's horrible. Okay. Our next page is going to be the green polka dots with the kind of fleur type things. Fleur, I don't know how to say that. We have 2 more after these, you guys, and then it'll be papered. We'll slam on the pockets because we can, and they're already made. You could always decorate the front of the pockets before you put them on. I would highly suggest that. It's just a lot easier to get the tape on. So I'm going to show you guys, after we get all this on, how to paper the front of your pockets and which papers I used to go with what pages. So I will be going through it nice and slow for you guys so you guys can actually catch it. And then you guys will be able to go back and look at the video. I'll even give you a mark time for part 2. Oh my god, sounds like it's dying. I don't know what the deal is with this tape. It's driving me batty. And it was the Scotch too, not the generic stuff. Wowza. Okay, last set. We've got the doily here on the right side and the solid blue on the left. I'm going to have to break out my other ATG gun. This one's really starting to squeak. Lord. I've got 7 of them, so I will put you in the closet. That's all you got to do is tell them that. Alright, there's that one. One more. I know I'm off screen, but I'm literally just gluing down the paper like I did the other 15 sheets. Okay, so I can put my front and back cover on now. Just make sure it's going the right way. Look how flat that is. It's like paper flat. Like it's literally, even with all the paper on, it's 1/8 of an inch on each side. That's how flat. You have it opened up to the middle of your album, flat. I could probably put a marble on this. No, it wouldn't roll. Well, it probably would. My desk is uneven. So, all right, let's do our front and back cover. We're also going to cut our spine piece and ink it really fast. And again, it's just the 3/8 of an inch wide in this pattern here, opposite of this one, by 8 1/4 long, just like the rest of it. Did I say 3/8 of an inch? I think so. And for your front and back cover, because you are putting the majority of embellishment on the front and back cover, if you feel like you need to use score tape, feel free to do it. But you can put a lot of tape down and some burnishing and you would be just fine. Oh. Okay, let's cut our spine and I'll show you how to do the pocket, and then we will be finito for the day. Let me grab my scraps here. Okay, so this one already has our 8.5 height from the paper that we cut. So we just need to cut my 3/8 of an inch width. And this side has more floral, so I'm going to do that side. Right down the, and I'm going to stain it. Ink it, stain it. I'm going to stain it. Just lightly ink the edges of it. And again, I'm going to run some score tape just because it's a spine piece. Why not? Not that you need to. Okay, so that is obviously not 3/8 of an inch. I cut it at half. Dang it. I knew because my tape was a lot smaller than it should have been. So 3/8 of an inch. I wonder what I was thinking. Here we go. Try that again. It's too hard to cut that 1/8 of an inch off of that piece and get it straight without getting all technical with it. So I'll just cut a new one. It's a lot easier. Okay. Again, make sure you line it up because it's the exact width of the tape. You don't want any tape overhang. Okay. Burnish. Again, you're going to just be peeling a little bit, and so there's a little bit of it peeled off. We're going to line it up, and I suppose it doesn't technically matter. This is the top. I mean, you could try and directionally figure out what way these flowers are going, but perfect. So I'm going to pinch that top down. So now it's in place. I'm going to go ahead and pull my tape. Line it up. Shazam. But literally, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this. Let me get my thing to focus here on something else. Hold on, it's getting blurry. But you can see this. This is the spine right here. And it literally is like as thick as a piece of paper. I mean, it's like nothing. Okay. All right. So that is the album. It is papered and built, and look at this thing. And it flips and it lays flat all the way through. We'll add some pockets. It'll add a little bit of bulk, but it's flat nonetheless. Did I miss a page? Oh, there we go. Okay. So let's go ahead and do the pocket. We'll start with this pocket. This is actually the back page here for the doily. So this, the pocket itself, after you fold its pieces in, ends up being, if this piece was still here, it would be 4 by 4 square, right? Yeah, it would be 4 by 4 square. Okay. So what we're going to do, and I like the 1/8 inch around, it gives the dimension to the pocket, it says I'm a pocket. You're going to cut a square that is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, okay, of cardstock. So let's go ahead and let me grab, let's see if I can find a piece of cardstock. It's a scrap. Okay, so I'll go ahead and use this. So 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 is what I cut it at. Let me double check that just to make sure. Pretty sure it was 3 1/4. It is. And I'm going to show you why these came in handy. So here's your scraps. And let's find that scrap. I know it's here somewhere. Aha. Okay, so here's that scrap. This is the bottom of the 12 by 12 paper. Ironically enough, from the very bottom of this to the top is 3 1/4. I know. So let's go ahead and cut our width at 3 1/4. Okay. Let's cut our height at 3 1/4. Okay. So now we have our 3 by 3 square. You are doing the exact same thing. You're putting the bottom left-hand corner on the 2. No, I'm sorry. You're putting the bottom right-hand corner, because some of these will be directional. So as you're looking at the bottom right-hand corner on the 2 inch, just like we did for our pockets, okay? You're putting the very top left-hand corner in the cutting lane, okay? And you're going to cut. Okay, now you have your pocket. Where's our pockets? Okay. So it goes like this, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's perfect, but oh wait, I can't see the bottom. I would rather you have too much than too little, so you're going to take and cut a skidge off. People remember what skidges were? Between a 1/16 to an 1/8, depending on exactly how much you have, so you have that nice edge all the way around. Ta-da! 3 3 3/4. Did I say 3 1/4? I'm sorry. 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, so that's going to give you your paper to paper the pockets. So let's go ahead and go through these. So let's start from the front. That way you guys don't get lost. So we are at the video mark 1 hour 26 minutes. So when you guys go back in to look at these, it should be 3 3/4. I cut it at 3 3/4. It better be, otherwise I'm really messed up. Yeah, it's 3 3/4 square. Not that you guys can see that. All right, so we need a piece of polka dot paper, which would be another one of, so grab your border piece that was left over. So this is the first page with the hearts. Okay, let's go ahead and do 3 3/4. Now, if you want to use these border strips, these bigger pages come with a nice fancy border strip. I suggest you cut that off first, which you could easily put that somewhere in this album as a decorative element. 3 3/4, okay? So our top, or our bottom right-hand corner on the 2 inches in from your cut spot, top left-hand corner in the cutting lane, and slice. Okay. Again, you're going to pick up your piece, and I just did that completely backwards. See, if you do it backwards, now you don't have anything that matches. This should be our front spot, and I don't know if I have enough left. Oh, barely. right, let's try this again. That's why it's very important you have the right corners in the right spot. So bottom right hand corner on the 2, top left hand corner in the cutting lane. I feel like a NASCAR driver right now. Okay, and Shazam, we've got grape, but again with the bottom, so I'm going to cut about 1/8 of an inch off the bottom. Ta-da! Okay, so first page, pocket. Our next pocket is on the bicycles, and it is the shiny hearts. So technically it's page 3. So page 1, page 2, page 3. So let's find the shiny hearts bottom to our scraps that we saved. Here it is. Again, these are perfect. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off because who knows, maybe I'll throw it in this one. These are really cool borders, so I'm going to save them. Okay, so 3 3/4. We already have our height at 3 3/4. Perfect. All right. Bottom right hand corner at the 2, top left at the cutting lane, and there we go. Let's find a pocket. Now, as you can see, this one actually has a little bit here, so you're going to be cutting less off, just so you know. Okay. That's why this is the one I kind of made wonky. That's why I make it a little extra long, and you can cut as needed. Okay. So that was page 3, 4, 5. So this is page 5. The @ symbols, we're using the diamond print. So find your diamond scraps, which is on the back of the white and black one. And 3 3/4. Okay. And 3 3/4. Okay, so if I'm looking at it, bottom right goes on the 2, top left goes in the cutting lane, and there we go. Find your pocket. Again, we need to cut, oh, there's 2 there. No wonder it looks so weird. I'm like, a little bit off the bottom, probably about 1/8 on this one. And you will have to ink these, but there we go. Your next one is going to be on the page with the actual diamonds, and it's going to be the @ symbol. Okay. Which is this scrap. It's got the stripes on the back. So again, 3 3/4. 3 3/4. Bottom right on the 2. Sorry, I have to say it to myself to make sure I do it correctly. It's pretty bad when I can't do it correctly. A little bit big. Let's cut 1/8 off. And again, you're going to want to ink these just to make it nice and cohesive if you want to. You don't have to. Okay. Did we do the hearts one? Do we have another hearts? Is that what's going on here? Okay, so we did I did another hearts one. So that's with the hearts and the green polka dot. Three 3/4, because that's already cut. Bottom right, top left. Find the pocket, and that one's actually almost pretty good. Just gonna cut a little bit off. There we go. Perfect. Okay. And your next one is the one we first did, which is the floral, and it goes on the very last left-hand page. Okay. So you're going to ink these and put them on. I'll go ahead and do one and show you, and then that will be your homework for those that are doing this along with me or have intentions of catching up this week and meeting me in class next Sunday for decoration. I gave you a mark time in this video, and that's when all of this stuff started, so you know which one goes where. And again, I just ink it, hold it down. I'm going to go ahead and use my ATG tape. Hold it in the spot. So on the video, there's part 1. This one will be part 2 in the recordings. So part 2, I had a little extra glue there, and you just rub, especially with the ATG tape, it comes right off. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this one in our, this is our back page pocket. Okay, and so what I do is I just kind of take it, and I like the green peeking out about 1/8. It looks, it's got this whole layer effect to me. I like the bottom paper beneath this peeking out. It kind of looks like it's floating maybe. So you're going to remove the tape that you already have down and stick it down. And then you'll do this to the rest of the 5. Inking, putting the covers on, and then putting them down. Let me make sure directionally this is the right way. Okay. Okay. Just like that. So now you have your page. So super easy to make this, you guys. Super fast, super quick. My pockets will be in by next week, and all we're going to do next week is embellish and throw in some, we're going to cut up our scraps, and we're going to use everything for the 12 by 12, well, as much as we can of the scraps, and put in tags and things like that. So you have a little homework if you're going to do this. It's tons of fun. Look how skinny it is. Nice, and you have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 inside pages that are very nice in dimension. I mean, the paper itself that mats this is 5 wide by 8 1/4 tall. So you have a lot of real estate. So any questions about anything that happened in this video? We are going to be back next Sunday right here on this channel at 1 o'clock, which is my normal Sunday time. I hope you guys will join us for what essentially will be part 3 of this album. And then the following Sunday, a couple Sundays from now, we are going to start the banner, and that'll go for a couple weeks, and then we'll start the other project. So any questions before I stop this recording? I want to thank the moderators and all of you guys for being here for my first time back. I'm so excited to see all of you guys and hang out. It made it a lot easier for me. We've kind of got a schedule going, and it's going to be great. Thanks to Carol and Barry for all their support for everybody. They have some great customer service, and they're just fantastic ladies, and we love them. So I'm going to stop the recording here, and we'll see you guys next Sunday. And I don't have my phone in here, otherwise I'd give you the date. But today is the 15th of February, so the following Sunday, 1 p.m. See you guys.